Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel, Wrestling with Books, where here we are celebrating Bookmas in July. I don't know if I'm calling it Bookmas in July or Vlogmas in July. Vlogmas is a very generic term, and I assumed Bookmas was too. And then Haley in Bookland had said that she invented Bookmas and gets upset that she's not credited for the invention of Bookmas. So then I feel like I just shouldn't use the term at all, since it is like a hot point, like a hot topic, like a stressor for her, and I don't want to stress anybody out. I'm a big fan of her channel. But so it's Vlogmas in July. I don't know, Vlogmas, Bookmas, what should I call it? Okay, let's not stress. See, this is why I worry about causing other people stress, because I stress out. But I thought for one of my Vlogmas in July videos that I would talk about some of the recent biographies I have read. And you know, I didn't define Vlogmas, Bookmas, etc. in July, but it just means I'm posting a video every day in July, like some people do in December for the Christmas season. And you often have Christmas in July. And I had been talking with some of my Disney friends about how much fun Vlogmas is in the Disney YouTube community, because I have a Disney YouTube channel. And jokingly, Mary from the Siskateers said Vlogmas in July, and so I was just like, sign me up. I love that idea, because you know, I do well with like deadlines and like having to be accountable for like posting and stuff. So it's hard doing videos in front of the computer because my mind just starts getting distracted. I know, this is so hard. Why? I haven't posted in a while. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the biographies that I have recently read, and maybe there's something you're going to want to start reading too. So the first one I read, I had randomly added to my wish list on Overdrive, the library ebook app, and it's My Own 2 Feet by Beverly Cleary. So Beverly Cleary clearly is the famed children's author of Ramona and Beavis, I believe, The Mouse on the Motorcycle, Socks. I remember one time my friend Marie and I, in the instant messaging AIM days, were trying to remember the title of the Beverly Cleary book and we kept referring to it as With the Mouse on the Motorcycle. The Mouse on the Motorcycle, what was it called? What was it called? We don't want to Google it. And then finally Marie's Googles it, and she's like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. It's like, fine, tell me. She's like, it's freaking called The Mouse on the Motorcycle. So that's just one of my favorite Beverly Cleary kind of memories. But this book, so she has another autobiography called A Girl from Yamhill, but this one is called My Own 2 Feet. And it's about her, it's a lot about her schooling and her life up until she starts writing. The very end of the book is when she publishes her first book. And what I loved about this, as somebody who would love to be an author but doesn't really write that much, is that leading up to this, like she didn't write. She didn't. You know, she becomes a librarian in the children's section, and she works for a bookstore. She goes through a lot to get schooling. You know, this is really in the 30s. So for her to leave, she's from Oregon, to leave home to go to California to attend junior college was a really big deal. It's also during the Depression. So being able to afford schooling, to get money from her parents, who she doesn't have a great relationship. And I think if you struggle with relationships, maybe with your parents, where they're giving you everything you need, you know, they're caring for you and your needs are met, but there's still those issues and maybe even a resentment. I think hearing how she sorts through that might be helpful, because, you know, her parents, they're helping to support her through school, and especially in a time where maybe that wasn't something all women would do. But she still has some serious issues with her mother not being supportive of the man she decides to marry, etc. And it leads up to when, after the inspiration she gets from working at a library in the children's department, she writes her first book, Henry Huggins. And so I loved seeing that you can still be a writer, but not like have been writing books your entire life. You know, that you still can have that dream and make it happen even if you didn't start yet. You can get married first, you can do your schooling first, and then it can still happen. So I really enjoyed this book, but it's really just a lot about her life, kind of coming of age, because she's going to junior college, she's boarding with the other girls and things like that, and you're not getting a lot about writing, which is what I really wanted to hear more of, that journey into getting published. But I think it really was a matter of that it wasn't this huge, extraordinary, several year long journey. Things really unfolded for her once she committed to doing it. So that was really cool. And if you're a fan of Beverly Cleary, or maybe even just kind of depression era books and lifestyle, I think you would enjoy My Own 2 Feet. Now let's get to the next book I read, and let's see if I cannot get distracted by my Facebook notifications, but it's definitely not happening. I had a call cancel, and so that's why they didn't cancel. They just didn't show up to the meeting. So I'm trying to keep the screen up in case like I get a message that they're coming. And this is what's happening, and now you're hearing about it, and here we are. So okay, the next book I got through a NetGalley read, and it is by Mandisa. Mandisa I recognize from American Idol, and I just love autobiographies. I really do. Anyone who has become successful, it's like I want to hear your story. So this one is called Out of the Dark: My Journey Through the Shadows to Find God's Joy. So as I say right away, this is Mandisa from American Idol, but if you're reading this just to get American Idol behind the scenes, this is not the book for that. It's a lot about her journey as a Christian, dealing with being a Christian while being on American Idol and being in the environment that they were in, and how she interacted with other castmates, so to speak, and how she dealt with criticism about her weight, how she dealt with her weight getting so bad that she felt she needed to do something about that, how she dealt with periods of depression, especially during COVID. Spoiler alert, a dog does help her out of it, which I think is fantastic. And it is a lot about faith and God. So if you don't like that, then you may not like this. But I appreciated hearing her journey with faith, how she utilized it during the stress of American Idol and so forth. I really enjoy when it comes to books when it's about faith or religion. I enjoy hearing about anybody's belief systems. I like to hear what it is that, as long as it's positive, that's leading to them feeling inspired to do good, to improve, etc. So I, enjoyed the faith aspect of this book. And I enjoyed hearing about her traveling as a musician, because a lot of it was about her post-American Idol life, where she's traveling, or maybe at some point she was no longer able to stand on stage because she had gotten unhealthy, and how she went to fix that, how she got back in shape and then out of shape again. It's not a weight loss book. The way I'm talking about it sounds like that's like a huge chunk. It's just part of her journey, and it's not, as somebody who does have, I guess you could say, I am I don't want to say overweight, because it doesn't like bother me, but I guess I technically am. So it's not triggering. Like the things she says didn't make me feel bad. Oh, I'm getting a call. So maybe this is the call I was waiting for. That was not the call I was waiting for, but it was a nice call. It was somebody looking to pay me. So that is always a good thing. Not just looking to pay you randomly for work. You know, I don't really get calls from people randomly trying to pay me. So this isn't an autobiography, but this is another faith-related book, and you're gonna be like, Nina, are you like this Christian channel? And I'm not, but I just like reading books about people's journey with faith. But this one is called You Are Stronger Than You Think by Joel Osteen. I got it from NetGalley and I hated it. I find that I am hating all of his books because they are, I feel like I'm going in and out of focus. And if I take my glasses off, I can't see if that's happening still. So, they're just like, if you've ever listened to, I used to listen to his podcast or his sermons, and they're just like that, almost like carbon copies. And also, like, they're always about what to do when you're already like in the negative. Like, I feel like they're great if you're in a negative mind place already, but if you're not and you're just looking for like tips on like staying high, like that, his books don't do that for me. They're all kind of about, like, from what I've read a few, they're about like what to do when SHIT has already hit the fan, you know, and I'm trying to keep it off the fan. So, not okay, not approved by me, not one of my favorites. Another autobiography, so to speak, that I read this, you know, year was Little Sister, My Investigation into the Mysterious Death of Natalie Wood by Lana Wood. And, oh, it's just such a sad story. And I read this during the early half of the year when, you know, Betty White died, Bob Saget died, Gilbert Gottfried died, and then you're like, but Robert Wagner is still freaking alive, you know? It's just, this book is definitely pushing the belief and narrative that Robert Wagner is either responsible or knows something that happened, you know, and is not sharing it. She goes into the mishandling of the investigation. She goes into how they were treated after. She goes into every kind of negative relationship aspect she had with Robert Wagner, Natalie Wood's husband, twice, you know, before her death. So it's really the whole process of it, both his behavior before and after is, you know, there's just one narrative being pushed, and that's that you wouldn't want him for a brother-in-law, you know. However, it still was, you know, as a sister, I can imagine that if I felt that way, I would be doing everything possible too, you know. It's definitely, if this is a case you follow, I think it's worth reading. If you think you'll be upset by kind of just hearing the one side of the story, then I wouldn't read it, because this really is just one side. Though I have to say, like, I don't think there is another side. I think this is the one side, you know? But, you know, that's me. I wasn't there. So that's, you know, that's that. And that's pretty much, I haven't gotten into too many other autobiographies this year. I did also read, though, this is just a nonfiction book, not an autobiography. I'll quickly mention it here. The Underground Railroad on Long Island. So I'm from Long Island, so I wanted to hear about the Underground Railroad and its presence here. And that was a really cool, interesting read. And that's going to be it for those books. Thanks for tuning in as part of this, let's just call it Christmas in July journey, but I'm not doing anything Christmassy. Guys, what should I call this? I may have to post a video beforehand addressing this and you know, getting some answers. So maybe that's already happened. I don't know, because I'm trying to film a month ahead of time, because I have two channels. I have Wrestling with Disney and this, and it's been, I thought it would be easier posting to both, and it's not. So I'm trying to really focus and use this July posting marathon to help really get my passion going for this channel. So thank you for being here, guys, and I'll be back tomorrow. How about that? How about that? See you next time.